Ever stand by an espresso machine, watching the clock, waiting for it to heat up? What if it was ready in less time than it takes to watch this video? Heck, you could even be sipping coffee with me by the end of this video. Fast, efficient, and loaded with the kind of controllable features that you would expect from a high-end machine. That's exactly what the Ascaso Steel Duo PID promises. And look, if discovering gear like this is your kind of thing, definitely check out our Brew Points loyalty program. It's how we reward this coffee obsession. Shop gear, earn points, and then redeem them for cash discounts and exclusive deals. Sign up today and start earning. The link, I'll throw that in the description down below. All right, let's now jump in the review of this machine. Now, before we get into the clever internals of this machine, let's take a moment to walk around the Ascaso Steel Duo PID itself, because yes, it looks sharp, but there is substance behind its style, like the all-metal construction. There's no plasticky panels or flimsy parts that will wear over time. It feels solid on the bench, like it's made to live there for years, not just months. The cup tray up top, it is generously large and it hasn't even been turned on more than 5 minutes, and it's nice and warm up top. This machine also ships with a standard 58mm portafilter, and it comes with a wooden handle. This is not only compatible with just about every espresso accessory out there, it feels great in the hand. It's satisfying, it's weighty, yet soft to the touch, and it's one of those tactile details that makes this daily ritual more enjoyable. Now, I can't speak as highly about the rest of the accessories that it ships with, like this tamper. Whilst it's better than most tampers that ship with espresso machines, it's still not quite as precision as I would be looking for. And these filter baskets, this stack of filter baskets. Now, I've got the double, which is a 20-gram basket. I'm using in this portafilter right now. It also ships with a blind basket, so I'm going to keep that. But the rest of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baskets, pointless. Just unnecessary. We've got a less than double basket. Well, some of you might use this basket. You could fit like, say, 15 grams in this basket. So, this is a maybe, but a single basket, no. 2 pressurized filter baskets, a single and a double. No one's using pressurized baskets with this machine, honestly. And then we've got what is known as an ESE basket. This is basically like a tea bag of coffee placed in here and then brewing it that way. Honestly, if you're spending money on this machine, you are not using any of these baskets. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Moving on. Water. You've got a 2-litre side-accessed water tank, which I find easier to fill than a rear-loaded tank, as I keep this machine tucked in under an overhead shelf. Then underneath the machine is a good-sized drip tray, which stays hidden but catches everything from the group head, and it's easy to slide out, rinse, and put back into place. You also get a cool touch steam wand, which means no burnt fingers during steaming sessions. And one of my favorite smaller details is the built-in workspace lighting. It is subtle, but on dark winter mornings when the kitchen's still quiet and I'm half awake, I find that gentle glow makes this brew setup feel extra intentional. Now, let's be real here. I get up early to make coffee. Waiting for my espresso machine to heat up is a morning mood killer, especially if I have woken up a little late. I'm now juggling the kids' breakfasts and lunches, emails maybe, and I'm trying to squeeze in a proper cup of coffee before the day takes over. Does that sound familiar? Well, the Steel Duo PID does promise to cut down that wait, and you can comfortably begin brewing within 5 to 10 minutes because of a clever Thermoblock heating element instead of traditional boilers. What does that mean for me? It means less time waiting and less energy wasted and more time enjoying my coffee. So there's no bulky dual boilers in this machine, though you still have independent Thermoblocks for both brewing and steaming. Now, rather than heating up an entire tank of water like a traditional boiler system does, Thermoblocks heat on demand. It's more rapid heating, pulling water through a heated coil that then moves towards the group head. And then the dual PID This is quite prominently mentioned in the name for good reasons. It means you get precise temperature control over both the brew water and the steaming separately. This means whether I'm pulling a shot at 94 degrees Celsius or experimenting with different roasts, where temperature can play its part by increasing sweetness or avoiding bitterness in my espresso, the Steel Duo lets you adjust the temperature without fussing around. It's pro-level control without the learning curve that it usually comes with. And you can also increase or decrease the steam temperature as well, depending on, I guess, your experience with steaming. I will say though that this level of control is expected at this price point, though Ascaso certainly does deliver with this promise. Now the next feature I want to talk about is volumetrics. With the Steel Duo PID, you get the chance to program shot volumes. So you'll then only need to hit this brew switch up or down to get a similar volume of espresso out time after time. And it will turn the shot off automatically, rather than you having to nurse the shot, turning it on and off and using the scales every time. And then once you've dialed it in, it's close to repeatable, which means less guesswork, but it's not an exact function here. Say I'm aiming for 40 grams of espresso out. Well, I've had to program the machine already using scales, and then sometimes I may get only 36 grams out, and other times I may get 52. But there is also times where I'm not critical on the output, or there's somebody else using the machine and they won't be using scales and they just want to hit the switch once. Then it is a welcoming addition. But also, a lot of machines at this price point don't carry this feature, so it's a nice one to explore to see if it works in your workflow. Now, to go along with this, there is adjustable pre-infusion. Here you can set how long the machine wets the coffee before the pressure then ramps up. This is my opportunity to reduce channeling, even out extraction, and unlock more sweetness from my beans. And this is not nice to have. For anyone chasing that cafe level shot at home, this is a powerful tool. I have mine set at 5-second pre-infusion with an 8-second hold to really ramp up extraction and get the best from my coffee. Now, there's also, for the espresso savvy, an externally adjustable OPV. That's the overpressure valve, which controls the maximum, the ceiling of pressure that the machine can achieve. And there's no disassembling required here. Typically, you're brewing espresso at 9 bars of pressure. The Ascaso is set to 11, and I would drop this to 9 bars of pressure, but read up on this before you do to really understand what the function of pressure is to espresso brewing. Now, I could say something like lower the pressure for lighter roasts, bring it back up for classic espresso style extractions. But it's more nuanced than this. It is a subtle control that adds a whole nother layer of precision to your workflow. So do your homework before adjusting the OPV. All right. Let's talk steam power, because this is where I usually raise an eyebrow when it comes to Thermoblock systems. Compared to traditional boilers, steam from the Steel Duo doesn't hit you like a freight train. It's more patient, not sluggish, but definitely not commercial grade blasting power that I'm accustomed to either. Now, you have to turn the steam function on the Duo on first before you use the steam boiler, as it's not a boiler in waiting, so to speak. That said, once it's up to temperature, it's absolutely capable of silky, glossy microfoam. You can make beautiful milk. You just need to give it a touch more time and attention. And here's the trade-off. You're getting faster brew readiness and better energy efficiency overall. And that's because the Thermoblock doesn't keep a large steam boiler in waiting, constantly pressurized. Instead, it ramps up as needed. So it's smart, efficient, and way more practical if you're only steaming once or twice a day. So, is it the fastest steam I've ever used? Absolutely not. But is it a deal breaker for most home baristas? Definitely not. In fact, for most of you, I think making 1 or 2 milk drinks a day in the morning or throughout the day, it's totally a reasonable compromise, especially when you weigh it up against the heat up speed, the precision in control, and the low idle energy this system uses. Now, the Ascaso Steel Duo PID, it isn't cheap. At this price point, it's well into prosumer territory, and that means you've got options, including traditional dual boiler machines from some very well-known names with features to boot. But here's where the Ascaso carves out its own lane. Rather than going with two bulky boilers, it delivers dual Thermoblock paired with independent PID control, which gives you impressive temperature stability and flexibility, without the heat up time or the energy demands of a full-on boiler system. Now, you're also getting a set of features that are reserved usually for higher-end machines. You've got volumetric shot control, an adjustable OPV, programmable pre-infusion, and then you can throw in cool touch steam wands, a wooden portafilter. I would have to go with the internal lighting though as my personal favorite. I know it sounds like a gimmick, but it really sets it apart nicely. So yes, you could spend the same money on a traditional dual boiler, but with the Steel Duo, you're paying for efficient heating that gets you brewing faster, smart design choices that fit into a modern lifestyle, and a machine that doesn't just perform, it's a machine with a modern aesthetic. It comes in this stainless steel as well as black and white, and I think this would fit in nicely to any modern kitchen counter. All right, so who's the Steel Duo really built for? It's for the kind of person who wants their espresso precise, their milk silky, and their machine ready before their toast finishes browning. It's for anyone who cares about quality but doesn't have time to wait for boilers to crawl up to temperature, or the patience to micromanage every variable before their first cup. You want fast, it's fast. You want control, it's got it, without drowning you in sub-menus or guesswork. And it's quality built. It's not plastic appliances. The overall takeaway should be the Ascaso Steel Duo PID is a machine built not just for show, but for real life use. It gives home baristas speed, consistency, and style in a compact, efficient footprint. It's not trying to be the biggest or the most powerful machine on the market. It's built for the real world, and if your mornings matter, this might just be the smartest choice in your espresso lineup. Now, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you have any further questions or experiences on the Ascaso, add them down in the comment section down below. I'll get straight back to you, or else I'll see you in the next video. Take care.